Let's talk about a secret, not a whispered rumor, but a quiet, private reality that lives in the silence between doctors' visits and honest conversations. It's the reality that your body's instruction manual has new, vital chapters after 50 that no one handed you. And in that gap of information, well-meaning habits from your 30s can subtly undermine your vitality, your confidence, and even your partnered intimacy. Today, we're ending that silence. Let's delve deeply into the first mistake, which is often the most ingrained because it's born from habits formed decades ago. We're discussing a pattern of touch that prioritizes intensity over nuance, a method that can be best described as the death grip. The issue here isn't about judgment. It's a matter of simple, mechanical neurophysiology. In younger years, the body is remarkably resilient. Nerve endings are fresh, highly responsive, and capable of rebounding from intense, repetitive stimulation. Many men develop a personal routine during this time that is high pressure and high speed, a direct route to climax that gets the job done efficiently. The problem is that after 50, the body's landscape begins to shift. The nerve endings in the penile skin, particularly the delicate corpuscular receptors designed to translate light touch and vibration into pleasure signals, are not as robust. They are more susceptible to what we call tactile adaptation, or in simpler terms, becoming numb from overstimulation. When you consistently use a forceful, tight grip and a rapid pace, you are not building stamina. You are essentially conducting a misguided training program for your nervous system. You are teaching it that only this extreme level of pressure and friction is the signal for arousal and release. It's a process of desensitization, where the neurological pathways for pleasure become like a highway that only admits heavy trucks, shutting out all other traffic. The finer, more subtle sensations, the gentle brush of a partner's hand, the friction of intercourse, the variety of touch that makes shared intimacy so rich, can become literally underwhelming. They no longer register as sufficiently stimulating because the baseline requirement has been ratcheted up to an unsustainable level. This creates a frustrating and silent disconnect. A man's solo experience requires one type of intense stimulus, while partnered intimacy offers another, often less intense, type. The body, trained for the former, can struggle to respond to the latter, leading to performance anxiety and a false narrative of declining function. Furthermore, this intense mechanical friction can have a physical effect on the tissue itself. The skin can undergo microtrauma, a low-grade inflammation that further dulls sensation. It prioritizes protective responses over pleasurable ones. The correction for this is not to stop, but to retrain. It's about moving from a paradigm of force to one of finesse. This involves a conscious, patient practice of using lubrication abundantly to eliminate unnecessary dry friction and deliberately lightening your touch. Explore a spectrum of pressure from feather, light to firm, and a variety of speeds. The goal is to rediscover the entire range of sensation, to wake up those quieter nerve endings. This retraining tells your nervous system, pay attention to this softer signal too. This is also the path to pleasure. It can feel frustratingly slow at first, as if you're recalibrating a finely tuned instrument, because that is exactly what you are doing. But the reward is a regained sensitivity that enhances every aspect of your sexual experience, solo or partnered. It transforms the act from a targeted mission into an exploration of sensation, reducing pressure on performance and increasing capacity for enjoyment. This isn't about loss, it's about sophisticated refinement. Your body is asking for a more intelligent conversation, and it begins by listening through a lighter touch. Let us be unequivocally clear, this conversation has never been about a deficit, but about direction. It has been about replacing outdated habits with informed, conscious practice. The three mistakes we've illuminated: the over-reliance on forceful stimulation, the neglect of the necessary mental and physical warm-up, and the confusion of fantasy performance with personal. Reality are not markers of failure. They are simply the natural result of applying an old blueprint to a new and, frankly, more sophisticated structure. Your body after 50 is not a diminished version of its former self. It is a different instrument, one that responds not to brute force but to precision, to awareness, and to respect. Correcting these errors is the process of learning its unique language, of moving from automatic pilot to skilled artisan of your own pleasure and health. This is the very essence of agency, taking the data of your lived experience and using it to craft a more functional, more fulfilling reality. The profound truth underlying these points is their interconnectedness. They are not separate errors, but links in a chain that either constricts or liberates. A forceful technique dulls sensitivity, which then fuels a rushed approach to bypass the very arousal building that feels less accessible, which in turn makes the gap between private satisfaction and partnered intimacy feel wider and more anxiety-inducing. Conversely, the solution is a virtuous cycle. A lighter, more sensate focus awakens the nervous system, which makes the mindful prelude not a chore but a welcome journey into arousal, which naturally aligns your solo and partnered experiences. Building confidence and reducing performance pressure. This is holistic self-care in its most intimate form. It acknowledges that your sexual response is not an isolated function, but a symphony conducted by your nervous system, your hormones, your psychology, and your emotional state. Therefore, the outcome of integrating these lessons extends far beyond the mechanics of a single act. It is about reclaiming a narrative. It is about shifting from a story of inevitable decline to one of intelligent adaptation and enriched discovery. This work rebuilds the bridge between body and mind, reminding you that pleasure is a dialogue, not a monologue. It reinvests your private moments with intention, transforming them from a routine release into a practice of self-awareness and somatic tuning. This, in turn, radiates outward. The confidence gained from understanding and working with your body, rather than against it, carries into every interaction. It alleviates the quiet fear that something is fundamentally wrong, replacing it with the empowered knowledge that you are the expert of your own evolving experience. So, step forward from this moment not with a list of prohibitions, but with a new set of principles for exploration. Let your touch be curious, not compulsive. Let your focus be on sensation, not just destination. See lubricant as essential engineering, not an admission of lack. And view every instance of stress as a factor to be managed, not an immutable barrier. You are not fixing something broken. You are updating your software, you are refining your technique, you are honoring the complexity and the wisdom of the body you have now. This is your invitation to write the next chapter, one defined not by unseen mistakes, but by conscious mastery, deeper sensitivity, and a vitality that is truly, authentically your own. Thank you for investing this time in your well-being. Your openness to learning and growing is the most powerful tool you have. If this resonated with you, please share it with someone who might benefit, because these conversations are how we build a healthier, more informed community. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.